All right, let's get right into it. We're going to talk about a company that did way more than just sell stuff for cheap. I mean, this is a company that looked at the rule book for American capitalism and then just completely rewrote it. What started as this one little store in Arkansas grew into a force of nature that literally reshaped our economy, our towns, and even our politics. And right away, you run into this huge paradox. The source material for this explainer puts it this bluntly. Walmart's proved capitalism is the best form of socialism. I mean, what a wild statement, right? It basically suggests that the only way to truly win at capitalism is to do what the communists never could. And that is the puzzle we're going to try and solve today. So here's the big question driving this whole thing. How did a simple discount store, of all things, get powerful enough to rewrite the basic rules of the economic system it was born from? Let's dig into the story of one man's vision, a pretty ruthless business model, and some really, really deep ironies. You know, to really get a handle on this retail giant, you have to start with the guy who built it. The entire Walmart empire, its whole philosophy, its aggression, all of it can be traced right back to its founder, Sam Walton, and the tough lessons he learned very early in life. So Sam Walton's story really kicks off during the Great Depression, and that experience, it wasn't just a backdrop for him, it was basically his business school. It taught him that real stability came from being frugal and building community, not from gambling on Wall Street. This idea shaped his whole career, from buying his first little franchise store when he was just 26 to launching the first Walmart in 1962, which, as you can see, pretty quickly ballooned into a regional powerhouse. And that's really the key here. His entire business model was designed to survive chaos. He zeroed in on three things: frugality, because, customers are always going to chase a lower price; community, because he believed loyalty could be a shield against his competitors; and maybe most important, control. He learned the hard way that you can never let other people hold the keys to your success. And yeah, he really did learn about control the hard way. With his very first store, he did so well, he was so successful, that his landlord just refused to renew the lease. Why? So he could give the profitable business to his own son. Walton learned a brutal lesson right then and there. Never let someone else pull the rug out from under you. So for his next store, he made sure to get a 99-year lease. This obsession with controlling his own fate became an absolute cornerstone of Walmart's strategy. And that philosophy, well, it built a business strategy so powerful, it could just suck the air out of a room full of competitors. And it all revolved around one simple thing: the price tag. It all comes down to this one simple but totally revolutionary idea: everyday low prices, or EDLP. The thinking is that at the end of the day, a person's wallet makes the final decision. If you can guarantee the lowest price all the time, people will come to you. Now, that sounds easy enough, right? But to actually pull it off across the entire country is an unbelievably complex logistical ballet. I love this analogy from the source material. Think about it. A competitor might have a low price, but maybe they don't have the item in stock. Or maybe they have the stock and the price, but their store's in a terrible location. Walmart, because of its just mind-boggling scale, its logistics, and its power to buy in bulk, can win on all three fronts at the same time. It's a fight that smaller businesses just can't win. And this all leads to a phenomenon called the Walmart effect. When a new store comes to town, it's like a three-act play. First, its everyday low prices start to drain the cash away from the local mom-and-pop shops. Second, its huge selection means customers can get everything they need in one trip, so why go anywhere else? And finally, as those other businesses start to close down, Walmart becomes the main and sometimes the only major employer left. And once that happens, the whole power dynamic of the local economy just flips on its head. Walmart isn't just a seller anymore. It becomes the main buyer in town, the main buyer of labor, and the main buyer of goods from suppliers. There's actually an economic term for this. It's called a monopsony. So what's the big difference? We all know what a monopoly is, right? That's one seller who can drive prices up. Well, a monopsony is the mirror image. It's one powerful buyer. And this gives Walmart this incredible leverage to drive the prices it pays its suppliers down, basically forcing them to cut their own costs or risk losing their biggest customer. And this is where the story gets really wild. This level of control leads us to the ultimate irony of Walmart. The way the company works on the inside starts to look less and less like free market capitalism and a lot more like the very system it was supposed to beat, a centrally planned economy.
You see, for decades, the biggest argument against planned economies was that they were impossible. How could a central government possibly know how many toothbrushes to make for everyone without price signals from a market? Well, according to the book The People's Republic of Walmart, the company's insanely advanced data-driven supply chain has basically solved that problem. It allocates huge amounts of resources with stunning efficiency, all without an internal market.
So how on earth do they do it? Well, a huge part of the magic is a technique called cross-docking. It's kind of like a nationwide game of hot potato. Goods show up at a distribution center and are immediately moved from the inbound truck to an outbound one, basically never even touching a shelf. This just slashes storage costs and gets products to stores incredibly fast. But all of this amazing efficiency, it comes at a price, a human price. Walmart is the biggest private employer on the planet, but with employee turnover rates as high as 70% in some stores, you realize that efficiency is built on a system of high stress, tough workloads, and mandatory anti-union training. It turns out that everyday low prices philosophy, well, it applies to labor too. And if you think you can change the system from the outside, good luck. This number, $73 million, that's how much Walmart spent just on lobbying politicians in Washington, D.C. in a single decade. That kind of money buys a ton of influence, letting them use their status as a massive employer to get exactly what they want. So with all that power, you'd think Walmart was just unstoppable, right? Well, when this finely tuned American machine tried to take its show on the road globally, its massive empire started to show some pretty serious cracks. Yeah, when Walmart tried to expand into Europe, it pretty much hit a brick wall. In Germany, workers were totally weirded out by the mandatory morning cheers, and tough local laws actually blocked their super aggressive price-cutting strategy. Over in the UK, the geography was all wrong. Their whole model of giant out-of-town megastores just didn't work in a country that's less spread out and less dependent on cars. Plus, they were up against fierce local competitors, and they just couldn't win. And this really brings us right back to that central conflict. Walmart is a true paradox. You've got capitalists who love its huge profits, even though its business model, with its central planning and market-crushing power, sort of threatens the whole idea of a free market. And on the other hand, socialists can't exactly celebrate its incredible efficiency because that efficiency is built on the backs of a low-wage, non-union workforce. In the end, the Walmart model is this bizarre hybrid of two systems that are supposed to be enemies. We get the stability and efficiency of a planned economy, combined with the rock-bottom low prices of hypercapitalism. But that leaves us with one final, pretty uncomfortable question. With all those low prices, who is really paying the cost?